Hello, hello. Now we have sound. Welcome to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I am so sorry about that before. I don't know why, but we had no sound, so I had to log off. And it figures because I'm like trying to fit it all in. And it's like I had to go out and garden. I'm trying to get online, which is why I look the way that I look. And yet, no internet, no sound, rather. It's like, be prepared that things will not always go according to plan. And I have a feeling that that's going to be something of the karmic theme. Like when we want things to go to plan, we think that we schedule it, like I'm trying to schedule my time. And then I'm like, there's no sound. I think I was talking for like 5 minutes before I realized that there was no sound, you know? Anyway, everything is in divine order, they say. And sometimes we look and we're like, that doesn't look like it's in divine order. But understand, on this channel, we look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blockages, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes within your relationship. Because again, everything's in divine order, but that's the way that it looks for me. It's triggering. Let's face it. How many times have you dealt with a particular situation and you're like, okay, like they say, surrender to the process. But how can you surrender to the process when the process looks crazy? That's the second chakra imbalance, by the way. When they say surrender, we can't train our mind to surrender because the mind is all about survival. So we have to actually transcend that. And we can transcend it by becoming the energy of love, by doing what we love, by giving and receiving of love. That's how we can transcend it. However, these karmic relationships, they teach us. So let's see what the underlining energy is. If you're new to my channel, anything of any importance or relevance, the distance. I'm so tired of repeating myself. You guys already know if you watch YouTube. And if you don't, then go back to a beginning video. Don't want to repeat myself. Only kidding. All right. The underlining energy is detachment, which means that we're dealing with an avoidant person. We're dealing with someone that has trauma. And you may have trauma too. Understand, like goes to like. You might just be someone that's more extroverted than this person is. Someone that's learned how to navigate your life, to being extroverted, but you hide those certain things deep inside of yourself. So again, whether we're hiding it, whether we're exposing it, the universe knows and is always going to bring you what you need to heal. To understand detachment and understand what the underlying energy is, really resentment, which is what this person wants. This person that you're connected to is on a lower vibration. It's like if they wanted to be transparent and emotionally vulnerable, they wouldn't be detached. So they're going to look for a reaction from you. They want you to be resentful. Why? Because they didn't treat you right. So it allows them to, say, well, you deserved it then if you react, right? If you try to control, then it's like, oh, see, you still have feelings for me. So it's like what you do. So when you don't do anything, then this person, they get pissed off because it's like, I can't control, I can't manipulate, and it triggers their anxiety because why does a person need to be detached? Well, abandonment and other trauma. So it's like by you not saying anything, you're making this person like look at themselves, whether you know it or not. This again puts them back to a place of fear and then makes them think about that again, that really, why do they do what they do? Well, because on some level they feel that they're a disappointment. So they don't give that much so that they ensure that they are a disappointment. They create that self-fulfilling prophecy. If emotionally I don't give you anything, then you can never say that I really cared. So you never really left me. It's like, it's a whole fuckery to protect the ego is this energy that I'm feeling. Now I'm going to see why I feel what I feel. But understand, it's like you're not going to win with a person like this. They're committed. They're like committed to being right. And that's another thing. It's like in relationships, we don't hold the score. We're not supposed to hold the score. We're supposed to just love unconditionally if you love someone. But if a person has a lot of spiritual blockages, they don't know how to do that. But that doesn't mean that they don't have a connection to you. They have a connection to you. They don't know how to react to that connection to you, and that's the thing, and that's where your wound is. That's when you need to be like, again, this person's triggering the shit out of me, and the spirit says, well, they shouldn't be able to unless there was a block there. So let's look and see what they did. Excessive. So I feel like this person, like whatever they would do to like irritate you, they would kind of do it more. It's like to get like a reaction, but also I feel like this person has very addictive behavior. The excessiveness is a sense of anxiety, believe it or not. And this isn't to say, oh, well, it's okay that they treated you this way, but it's to help you see things from a different perception so that you don't get triggered, so you can react and know what you're dealing with. Because the person doesn't put this much effort into something unless they're insecure, first of all. Again, otherwise we feel comfortable to actually form the actual relationship. We're not afraid of abandonment. This person's basing their life on past experiences, but what you know is everything that they're doing is they're creating the same exact past experience in the present. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, which tells us what that core belief is. It's like this person doesn't really even, they believe that they're a disappointment. They believe that you wouldn't want to be with them. Like, I believe that you looked at this person like, oh, wow, you saw what their energy could be, like you saw their potential, where this person loved that you saw their potential, but they don't think that about themselves. It's like they don't, they're insecure. They're lost. They don't know who they are. They don't know who they are. They don't really know. And that's when a person tries to fit into their environment a lot, and here it's not like you're like, okay, they fit into the environment in other places, but I got the version of a rebel without a cause almost. Yeah, it's again because you have the potential to hurt them. So I'm not going to, you're going to fall in love with this version of myself, which is not a real version of themselves. It's a facade. This person winds up normally in very close relationships, giving all their power away, giving all their, so understand it's like an intimacy issue. And it's an intimacy issue because when a person gets that close, it's like they just feel what that person wants and they do it because they don't have a good sense of self. So they don't really believe anyone can love them. So they overgive and overdo, and then they don't like the relationship, is what you see here. And then it creates drama within the relationship. So here it is. Normally they can escape because they don't have that deep emotional connection, right? When a person is coming in and they're insecure and they're too busy about giving and giving and giving, once the passion is over, they don't want to give anymore. But this is not that. This, they have a connection already. So if they give and give and give, well, then this person's going to lose themselves completely into you. And so that's the issue. You can see like why it's like, okay, like why is it, why me? Well, it's an intimacy issue. Betrayal happened at a young age. So this person will actually like other people's posts on Facebook when you'll be like, what motherfucker, I know that you know that what you just saw and you're gonna not look at my shit. It's like, no, it's, again, I want you to react. I need you to reassure me. So it's very childish and it's irritating because you're like, well, what about me? Again, and God says, well, you're a mirror of whom what you come into, comes into your life. So we know that you didn't get that already without even looking at your inner child wounds, where you're like, you're looking at you. It's your job to do that for me. where this person's like, no, you need to do it for me. Where God's saying, you both need to do it for yourselves. You don't need to do it for this person. You need to do it for yourself, and vice versa. Where again, but you're both like, you didn't reassure me. You didn't tell me. You play games with me. Where You're like, I'm not playing games, but I'm just not going to look like an asshole and tell you how I feel when you don't, again, give me anything. So it becomes this whole dialogue, but there's still a spiritual connection here. So it's about control. That second chakra is fear. And spirit says, well, it's got to be a divine connection because no one would stick around for this nonsense of power struggle. No one wants this, trust me. This person, like how they deal with it, again, I feel like they check out. They might drink a little too much, they smoke a little too much. You might even do that where like you're like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with it. This person irritates me, I'm gonna have an extra glass of wine. I don't know how to like deal with them, I don't know how to control. And that's the second chakra again, and spirit says, no one's supposed to be controlling anybody. And you're like, but this is what it looks like. They look there, they can hurt me. And spirit says, no one can hurt you unless you allow it. And you're like, well, then it's like not having this person in my life. So then it becomes an all or nothing. And God says, you're not going to be able to do the all or nothing thing, by the way. This is a second chakra in balance. So it's about boundaries. It's about individuality. So that's why this person is like, they don't think that they could actually have a regular relationship with you because they've never lived any other perception, is what I'm trying to get at through all this shit. However, understand God is always bigger than this. And so the universe is an extension of God, and all everybody wants from the universe's perception and God's perception is that you revert back to the energy of unconditional love so you can be as abundant and really create whatever life and life experiences that you want, that you always see that you're supported and loved and guided, and that's it. And but the truth of the matter is that when we are detached, we're dissociated from that emotion and we're detached from that wound because we can't figure out how to fix it. And after a while, it's tiresome. And, yeah, you can suppress it with addiction like this person does, but they're not doing it all the time. And neither are you. So it's still there. That energy is still affecting you because you're an energy being. God says your energy is made up of your thoughts and your emotions. It's held in the body as stress. It's what becomes your energy vibration. It's what makes you a magnet for who and what comes into your life. So that's why this person, so you're like, they're immature. They're annoying. It's like, come on. It's like, I got the most broken one at the fucking basket here. It's like, I don't want the IKEA brand. I don't want to have to put it together. It's like, because half the screws are missing and it's just fucked up. It takes me too long to do it when everybody else just gets it. It comes right on in. Raymore and Flanagan, beautiful, whatever. But I got the fucked up one. And Spirit says, do you see how triggering? Do you see what it's trying to tell you? And it's like, yeah, what, then I'm fucked up? It's like, that's what, and Spirit says, no, that you have love blocks. It's like that you have blockages in that because it's the way that it's making you feel. But really, you're only having a relationship with yourself. And you're like, no, I'm trying to have a relationship with this asshole. And Spirit says, but they are representing that detached part of yourself. It's again because you also have love blocks because again of whatever happened in your childhood. It's like, and then that was the karmic theme that you kept seeing over and over and over again in your life to be like, which has made you feel as if you can't have what you can have. That's an illusion. There's many different realities that play out at one time. Why would you decide to live a reality that you don't like? You're like, because I'm not perfect. I'm not awake to what I'm doing. And Spirit says, yeah, well, understand it's about exploring the unknown. Part of this is you really wanted to be with this person if they come back, and they will come back because I can tell the energy will pull for it, but I can guarantee it that this person will come back and, you would have to do things differently, which is, yeah, you do things together. You create experiences, the emotional connection. This is an intimacy issue. The person's nice to everybody else, but not nice to you. That means you probably grew up with a parent that seem to be nice to everybody else, but not really nice to you, where you're like, again, it affected you. And so there's a sense of, I always get people that can't show me that emotional support that I so need and I never got. That's the reoccurring karmic pattern. And Spirit says it's an intimacy issue, it's a spiritual block. So what'll happen is you might get attracted to people that come real hot and love bomb, and then they take off. There's a sense of, again, as long as the honeymoon phase, you can only heal that by, again, creating yourself, loving yourself, creating yourself, becoming yourself, pouring into yourself. Like that emotional energy you want this person to give you, you have to do for yourself, and that's the way. So understand that. Thank you, Daily Downloads. So understand that Spirit says that's number one, because there is a want, and this person is having an epiphany. Again, they're outdated ways of thinking. And what do soulmates do? They make us think differently because we're blocked. And it's mainly because of what you're doing. It's like, and what you're doing is you're like, I'm not giving anything because you don't give anything. So I'm not going to give anything. I don't care that this is a connection. I don't care. It's like, it doesn't mean anything. If you want something different with me, you're going to create new experiences. You're going to go into the unknown. You're going to travel, but not whatever this fantasy bullshit is. Again, the detachment. Like they're having a relationship with you in their head, but not in the physical realm. And that's because of their insecurity, their games. So again, and they can't come in again fast, right? Again, this is normally how this person is. Someone that's shallow, comes in fast. And then this connection isn't designed for that. Spirit's like, that's not going to work, because relationships are really there to help you evolve. Because really, Spirit's saying, like, your energy, you're here to learn. Earth is a school. So what are you learning? You're learning what unconditional love really is. You're learning how to be in that energy so you can be abundant, so that you can create. So again, we're born into families and societies that don't allow that. So again, we look and we'll see, what is the spiritual element then of the whole relationship? What does this person really think? Because they're not talking, they're detached. What do they really feel? And this journey is teaching us one of the most important spiritual lessons, patience. Yeah, because this person's not doing anything. So it's almost like you're in a spiritual like tug of war for the energy, and you're like, I'm not going to do anything. And this person's like, well, I'm not going to do anything. And the universe is like, I'll wait. Like, because eventually, like, I win, the universe says. Like, because the universe says, I have God on my side. I'm just the extension of God. So, you're gonna fall prey back to unconditional love. It's hard to hold back. It's hard to, like, again, resist, and that's really what it is. So it's not like this person's cautious, like, of, oh, well, I'm gonna like just be patient. No, they're waiting for you, and they're not being patient. You're waiting for them, and you're not patient. And Spirit's saying, well, it's like, I'll wait, because neither party wants to move. But you're just going to be frozen in time, suspended in time. When I let myself go deeper into thought of you, I can feel my heart opening, which is the whole point. This person's heart is closed due to, again, whatever they went through in their life. It's scary to open up your heart when you've been hurt. I'm walking home to you. I'm not sure where I am on the path, but I know I'm walking it. So this person knows eventually they're going to come back, because they're like, it's stupid. I'm the one that's not talking to you. It's like, but really I want to be with you, but I'm not going to talk to you. It's like, at this point, and because you're like, I'm not going to give you anything. What do you want me to degrade myself? What are you, stupid? You don't know who the fuck I am? And that's actually what they love about you. The fact that you're like, I don't care who you are. I'm not going to do that. myself. Again, this person always had feelings, but if they can, manipulate it so that it goes to, their way by being shady or lying, well, you know, but this also tells you who they are. That there's someone that strategizes, that there's someone that's in a survival mode. So, you know, I would, if you entertain this, Spirit says you better take it very slow and set a lot of boundaries and be as stern. And you're probably getting this because Spirit says, oh, you're getting that person because you just shit with your boundaries. You're like, you don't let a person in and you make them do everything, jump through hoops. And then once they do the hoop thing, then you're like rolling out the red carpet. Oh, what do you want for dinner? And then let me throw your laundry in. And Spirit says you go from one extreme to another. So you're getting this person where you already know they want to be a better version of themselves, but they're not the better version of themselves, clearly. So understand that. Because this person is like, still like, I'm coming home. I don't know when I'm going to come back, but like they're mortified because it's like, they're not used to having to come back. I need to come back and apologize to you. It's like, I don't like, again, you're shattering my self-image about myself. And you're like, I don't care. You can shatter your self-image all you want. It's like this person, again, like, I feel like, at the time they're going to say the timing just wasn't right, you know, and they feel bad because they didn't know exactly what they were doing. But the thing is that they play your conversations over and over and over. And I feel this person's actually guilted, for the first time. And that's why we know that it's a spiritual connection. Because normally they wouldn't give a shit. So when you met this person and you're like, we have a connection, you weren't wrong. But they were resisting that connection. They didn't want that connection. And it's like, and they got to the point where they're like, you know what, I don't like this. I wish that things could be different. They don't want it to be like, and they realizing like, if it's going to be different, it's going to be me, and that's really what it was, because this person knows it was my fault, but I blame you. And it's like, and that's why they're guilted. So you have to say, well, why did I attract this person into my life? Like, because you might be like at a place where you're like, I don't know when I'm going to take this person back. And it's like, I don't know because I'm mad and this person's not mature. And Spirit says, oh, good, that's exactly where you should be. Because the runner becomes a chaser, and this person needs to open up their heart, and they wouldn't open up their heart unless they gave. So you have to hold to a standard. And why you're like, why are you making me do this? And Spirit says, so you can actually see what it would look like if you held your ground and saw yourself the way that I made you. This person is representing that. Like when you act like you don't care, you're like, well, I have to be with someone that I act like I don't care. And Spirit says, in the beginning, maybe a little bit, not as much as you do. It's not that you don't care, it's that you care more about yourself, is what you're teaching that person, you know? Otherwise, like this person will always have obstacles, I mean, they do because they're afraid, but the twin flame journey always has obstacles. It's like, it doesn't mean that there's no healing. There's a lot of healing. That's why they say it's not for an easy relationship. This person was childish. They don't want you to move on. They understand about the repetitive cycles that need to be stopped. I mean, that's why you get into a twin flame connection, is that the universe is like, okay, the repetitive cycles like these people keep doing. They do the same thing over and over and over again, or at least one of them does. And then the other one doesn't feel that good about themselves and puts up with it and doesn't set boundaries. And so the codependency is what the problem is. And that's a second chakra imbalance. And the second chakra, where Spirit says, that's all about your unique individuality. That's your passion center. That's your birthing center. That's your creation center. Spirit says, that's how you can go with the flow. That's how you can set boundaries, because your mind can't be in two places at one time. So this person acts like an asshole. You take your mind and you put it on what you're creating, what you're doing, where you're going, what you're becoming. Again, love, the person's going to surrender to the fact that love is like how they are now. They're walking slow. They're like, I don't know where I am, but I'm coming back to you. because you're not coming back to me and I don't have a choice. And now I'll come back like a dumbass. Well, Spirit says the only way a karmic cycle, a repetitive cycle stops is when the person deals with someone that makes them be different because they're not aware of what they're doing. However, understand you really need to be present because there's karma. There's always karma in dealing with these type of relationships. So again, as long as you don't abandon yourself, Spirit says you're fine. But the repetitive cycles, and that could be your ones, right? Again, which is I overgive, I overdo, I lose myself, I make that they make me feel bad. It's like I never had that. I want that. Where Spirit's saying, it's again, no. This person's actually grateful that they met you because they're like, wow, I actually have feelings for someone that's above lust and that I actually care. Because normally they don't care. Because when people live detached and disassociated for so long, they're numb. They're numb and they haven't given enough energy. So no one really builds, that emotional bond. So it's almost like the universe brings in like a twin flame because, hey, you're going to feel this even though you're completely numb. Just so that you know, like you're completely numb, like you cut off your arm, you wouldn't feel it. They're going to feel this. And that's what you see. This person feels guilty. They're like, it was my fault, but I blamed you. And now I look like an asshole because here I am. I'm here. You're there. I want to be with you. You don't really want to be with me now because, or I don't really know. But like, I kind of feel like you do want to be with me because you're a twin flame, but I don't know because I could have fucked this thing up. And, so I'm the one that's going to come back. It's not going to be shallow. And it's not going to be shallow because Spirit says, oh, no, motherfucker, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to work because you fucked this thing up real bad. It's like, but that's where your healing comes into play in fixing it. If this person allows you to fix it, it's again, and even if they don't, you're going to try a little bit, which makes you open up the heart because this person didn't want to open up the heart. They do. They do. I mean, but I don't know whether this person is a full-fledged narcissist. And I say that because, you know, I see that they were very childish. I see that they, played games that they weren't emotionally transparent. But I think that people that mess up in relationships too, where they have like feelings, they have regret. It's like, but this person wouldn't have regret if you didn't turn around and be like, I'm not playing along. They would have never noticed. So the universe says, you know what? I don't really care whether you're going to be with this person or not. I don't care. What I care about is that they heal themselves and they wouldn't know how to do that. So you already served a purpose, whether or not you stay with them, you don't stay with them. The universe says you left them in better standing than how you met them. And so you're like, so what? It was all about them, or what about me? And then Spirit says, well, that's where your healing comes in. That's where your healing comes in. Well, and that's the thing. It's like a lot of times with detachment people, they can feel it when that emotional connection, and if you have a deep connection. So you don't react and you actually wind up pouring more, and if the person is telling you, okay, how you feel, okay, I'm not going to give you time then. And then but know that they shouldn't have been able to say that. You're making me feel like as if I'm smothering you. And then you need to say, did I like want this person to emotionally give me more? What else do I have going on in my life that emotionally fulfills me? Where do I see my life going? Do I 100% know? Am I 100% fulfilled? And if I'm not, then I need to put my energy into there, because then this person taught you something. And I'm not saying that it was right. Listen, I'm sure Aaron, he pulled you in, made you again feel everything. And once he got what he got, and then he was like, oh, wait a minute. The whole like relationship thing. Now we're getting too deep. And again, made you feel abandoned. But no one can abandon you unless you abandon yourself. See, that's the thing. When you're pouring into yourself, understand this person's not just going to see you giving to yourself in your life getting better. But you're gonna see have other options, that they're not such a great option. This is done, no talking, no talkie, no talk. Just watch me. It's like, okay, you told me what I needed to know. Now I'm going to take it. Because if the person cares, where they were like, well, I cared, but I got freaked out because, I have intimacy issues, and, I could really feel like you wanted to have expectation. And, so I said something out of a reaction. Then that person is going to come back and apologize because you're saying, oh, you didn't give a shit. You're not going to have to tell me twice that I'm like, I'm blocking your goals, your interests. Go fuck yourself. It's like, you're not going to tell me that. It's like, I'm going to take my energy over here and pour into myself and work on my goals and connect to different people. And you know what? Like that emotional energy that person would have made me feel, I would have put all my time, all my energy, that I would have achieved something faster than that person. And then, you know what I mean? Because that's really what that person is saying. They're like, it's not, they gave you double messages. And then when they came close, they made you feel that way. So it's the emotion that you need to look at. Why did that happen? Well, like, right, like shame, like, don't, like, it's this person has shame, and understand a lot of times a person that has spiritual blocks, they will project that shame back on to you. So, again, no one can make you feel a certain way unless you actually feel that way about yourself. So, the key is just to learn that. But in this story, let's see why, again, the person is attracting this twin flame. Like, what did they need to learn? What were the wounds that were brought out? Overwhelmed, optimism, anger, confusion, physical touch, resilience, rebellious, and self-sabotage. Okay, so when I look at the inner child wounds to see what was the karmic theme, why did you attract someone that's so immature, that emotionally couldn't give anything, that needed you to like run after them and reassure them, and what? And Spirit says, well, first of all, because you emotionally didn't get what you needed. There wasn't really support, with that. It's something that you needed as a child. And so, which I told you that we would see that. And so it was very overwhelming to be with a parent that expected you not to like have feelings. Like, that's what it felt like. And because you would state the way that you would feel, you would, made maybe your family feel uncomfortable. Maybe they come from that culture. I know for me, I grew up with a German dad that had just was not good with the emotions, but not saying that all German people are that way, but he had a very hard time experiencing, and he from his dad. Now, again, speaking up, you could have been the highly sensitive person that was like, I'm just a squeaky wheel. If there's something off, I'm going to say it. And then, of course, I'm seen as the bad one. I'm seen as the rebellious one. So it's confusing. It's confusing, makes me feel bad, because self-sabotage is always connected to shame, connected to like, I'm bad. It's like I'm bad, like I'm doing something just for being me. So it was very hard for you to be like optimistic, right? It was very hard, though you're normally an optimistic person, from living that environment. So emotionally, Spirit said, you just attracted that person into your life, because in looking for them to give you that emotion, it was created the same type of environment as childhood, where it was overwhelming. Like, where's my help? Where's my need? How come it's one-sided? I don't want you to hurt me. So all this energy where really no one can do anything to you, we allow it by giving so much energy again to it. Understand, the person's not married to you. They didn't earn it. is what Spirit says. Saying Spirit says, me first, and that's through you first, by giving of yourself. Person likes you, they might not like what you say or what you do. This person didn't like it. They were like, but understand they're coming back with their tail between their legs because hey, like I'm stupid, like yeah, I didn't like what you said, so I ghosted, I stayed away. Now I'm the one that's suffering. You're not suffering. It's like, yeah, it's like, but that's not, it's about being true to yourself. Well, I feel like, again, well, it's maybe not your story, number one, or number two. It's again, a lot of times people go off with other people when they're like, oh, you're not giving me what I want. Let me go to somebody else because I want to make you feel insignificant. I want to make you feel as if you were disposable. And so then you're like, yeah, and that's the way that they made me feel. Then you have to say, why did you give so much to this person? Why did you give so much to this person? Because they came in and they love bombed me and I thought that they were my person. And Spirit says, well, that's why you have to be, your cup needs to be full all the time. That was a lesson that this person told you. I need my cup full all the time because I can't tell whether or not you're a phony, you're a counterfeit person, or whether you're real. Whether you're my real twin or whether you're my soulmate. If you come back and you apologize after fucking this relationship up and you actually surrender your ego, you may be my twin flame. I would need to, again, have forgiveness and set boundaries and step into the best version of myself to be safe in a relationship like this because I would have to continually set boundaries. People assume, oh, that twin flame relationship, they're ready to be that perfect person. They are not. It's like they may be ready to be a better person, I should say, but they don't know. They're not. You're not getting a better person. You're getting the broken version. It's you that has to hold them accountable. And so, what this person tells you is that they weren't a twin flame. They were a past life karmic mate. What they taught you was that you don't value yourself enough. Again, because you gave this person like they were somebody more important than what they showed you that they were. And how could you prevent that? Because we can't go back in time. And then guess what? Live that life. And when this person circles the block again, because they always circle the block again, they're going to see a better version of yourself. They're going to see you and realize. Right, exactly. That's exactly, Rocky. Exactly. That if you're gonna go through it, you better call them out on their shit. It's like, and not be afraid to lose them. Because what the person learns is that they can't control love. They have to surrender their ego. They're not gonna like that what they create. And that it's like teaching a child. It's like you reparent yourself by doing, and you are kind of like that person's parent because they're not going to do it. And so Spirit says, understand, we don't want to get caught up in so much of that because without you creating your life, remember, there's a reason why you're connected to this. So we have to again create our life to transmute this negative energy that they actually created for being this way. And we do that by understanding the deep wisdom, like trust in the knowledge that you have, like from this, and we just went through the knowledge. So it wasn't a waste. Like either we learn or we win. Understand, we always winning, but we're either gonna get the knowledge or we're gonna win. And that's what it is. You showed for your strength again by standing up for yourself, and that this person was just a stepping stone. That like be patient with yourself. Like everything is helping you to revert back to the energy of unconditional love. You get what you need, not what you want. Though that sucks, but it tells us again, harmony within. Like you completely got this to integrate like fragmented, detached parts of yourself because you didn't get the love and the nurturing that you needed. So it brought you back to that pain. You're like, why am I getting this again? And Spirit says, because you're not doing it for yourself. It's the need that I have a problem with. It's the fact that you shouldn't need anything. It's that the answers are inside of you. It's become yourself. And yes, in the beginning, it's like, I don't know how to do that. That's boring. I have anxiety. But Spirit says once you work through all that and you really start to become yourself, you're emotionally going to get from the people that you meet along the way, from the experiences that unfold within your life. And so, have a narcissist come into your life, then you'd be like, you're giving me a breadcrumb. Like, why the fuck would I give you time if you're just giving me a breadcrumb? I can go with these people to a party. I can go network and make more money. I can go to, like, I met people along the way that has invited me to their house and experience. You wouldn't. You'd be like, you're not giving me anything and I'm not going to waste my time. It's like when you show a person, like, my life is full and it's busy and I value myself, they feel stupid coming in with the breadcrumbs. They automatically know it. So we hold to a standard. And it doesn't mean that the person didn't love. A lot of times that's as good as it gets for them because no one showed them ever. Yeah, the beauty of it is that they see you as an empress because you show them unconditional love by not being a doormat. Yes, and also by, you know, people want to be with someone that they perceive better. So when a person doesn't love themselves and you let them, walk all over you, well, then they dispose of you because they're like, oh, well, you like me that much. So do you have nothing that much going on? It's almost like, I don't want to be a member of a club that I'm a part of, and that's, like I said, you're not going to win with a person like that. You can't do anything with that. But what you can do is become the best version of yourself so you attract what you're supposed to. Take the lesson again and be grateful, because if you would have messed with this person even longer, you know that they would have ruined your life. And at the end of the day, it's their healing. But because of the way you handled it, again, you get what was behind curtain number 3, which was a trip around the world in a brand new car, opposed to the zonk that person has to, you know, they get to ride the zonker, you know what I mean? And they're like, I don't like what I have. Well, you integrated your block, so you're not detached anymore. You're whole, you're full. You integrated all aspects of yourself due to this person. So understand now you have the wisdom to recognize what's good, what's not, what's worth your time and what's not. And it's just part of learning. And yes, earth sucks because it's a school. It's like we're getting good enough to go to heaven because none of us are good enough to go to heaven. We're all little devils. Like, so we have to learn how to be nice and compassion and forgive. Forgiveness is hard. It's like that's the one that I have the problem with, the most problem with. I can forgiveness. So I get a lot of people that screw with me. It's because again, Spirit says I need forgiveness, but I don't like that one. So understand, like I said, none of us are perfect. It's all a walk, but you can protect yourself from stopping the karmic cycles that keep you stuck in a place of limitation. Thanks for joining me today. I'll be on again later, hopefully looking better than what I do now. But I got to go back out and garden. I got to do it. I'm multitasking. I'm learning how to be able to go with the flow. Not the easiest thing to do. All right. Thanks, guys. Love you. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.